Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, not so long ago I was in a conference for a pretty large group, and then I was talking about climate change. And then, before I went into the standard, the audience say, "Oh, Dr. Vincent, it's so easy." And therefore, I asked them one question, a very simple question. None of them can answer. Do you all like to try this question? Like to try? Try a bit, Try a bit, So if you go to my slide, there's a thing called IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. IPCC states that there is a target that we try to achieve. Do you all know what is that target? 1.5 degrees Celsius, right? So it's so easy. Do you all know what is 1.5 degrees Celsius? Anyone knows? You all know or not? Don't know? It's serious. So 1.5 degrees Celsius is not so good. So we want to achieve 1.5 because we don't want 2 degrees Celsius. 2 degrees Celsius means 99% of all coral reef will die. All our children will never see Venice, North Jakarta, Ho Chi Minh, some part of Mekong Delta, some part of Maldives. And when the slide is up, you'll see a lot more. But basically, it's not good. But 1.5 degrees Celsius, what is that? Anyone knows? 1.5 degrees Celsius is 70% of all coral reef will die. And that's our achievement. No? That's what we target. That's what we want to achieve. And when we achieve, we should be happy that 75% of all coral reef will die. We'll never see Venice anymore. So again, when the slide is up, so that is the target that we are trying to achieve. And we have to understand where are we today. So the slide is still not yet up. Is it up? Next. Next, if you can. No problem if you can't. Yeah, so overall, IPCC states very clearly that for 1.5 degrees Celsius, we have to do many things. And just now, the chair was talking about carbon credit. I think some of our friends, we are very interested in carbon credit, and we think that, we have a forest and we can get some carbon credit and then we gain from that. Today, I would like to go through what exactly are the steps that we can take next to go to even close to carbon credit. And if you can go next, like, next. Okay, take your time, no problem. Fine, but so overall, anyone know what is ISSB? Just now, the chairwoman was saying ISSB, International Sustainability Standards Board. Fantastic. So ISSB, I think, is kind of talk about the last 1 month, because Singapore and Malaysia, we have standardized and we have legalized. We say that going forward, all reporting will be based on ISSB. But do you all know that today, what is the most popular standard? Anyone knows? What is the most popular standard used? Anyone know? Serious? Keegan? GRI, fantastic. Please give her a round of applause. You see this? You see, sustainability, not only that you need knowledge, you need courage. You don't have the courage, it will be very difficult. Today, 96% of all companies are using GRI. 96%, that means 4% is on ISSB. And therefore, when the chairwoman talked about ISSB, I think it requires a lot of coverage. But basically, it is not the current situation. It is not. So when we move towards ISSB, it will be like a crystal ball. So when the slide is up, I would like to share with you 3 crystal balls. Just now is one of them. Crystal ball means what will happen in the future. So actually, many people told me if we are able to see the future, the financial gain will be huge. How about I continue? You continue what you do to get the slides up. Cannot, is it? Okay, so no slides. 3 crystal balls. So ladies and gentlemen, just now we talked about the 3 potential standards. GRI is 96% of the whole world's company. Bursa Malaysia has already mandated that in the future all companies will require ISSB. Anyone know what is the US standard? US standard? Hey, serious? No one? Come on, any US company, your parent is in US? Don't have. Okay, SASB. Any European standard? European standard. Anyone knows what is European standard? Don't have? Okay. So as you can see from here, just now I say our target is 1.5 degrees Celsius. What is 1.5 degrees Celsius? So our target based on COP29 is 1.5 degrees Celsius. Next slide, please. 1.5 degrees Celsius means 70 to 90% of all coral reef will die, which consequently the marine life will die, and consequently our children will never see coral reef in their life. And that's what we want to achieve, That's what we are aiming for, because if we go to 2 degrees Celsius, 99% of them will die. So this is not a good picture. So many people, when I talk to, and they will say, someone somehow is doing something and we will achieve 1.5 degrees Celsius. 1.5 degrees Celsius is disaster, but it's a better disaster than 2 degrees Celsius. So based on IPCC report, next slide, you can see that we are moving towards, next slide again. So this is the latest report, 25th of July. So I think real new information. 25th of July, next slide, we are moving towards 4 degrees Celsius. So just now I say 1.5 is no good. 2 is worse. We are moving 4. I'm not joking. So more and more hurricane, more and more typhoon, more and more flood, and more high temperature is coming our way. If we don't do anything. Okay, next slide. So therefore, what are the things that we can do? If you look at the next slide, which will come very soon. Next slide. Okay, so higher temperature, as you can see. So I'm not joking. They are real record temperature. Next slide. Okay, so some New Orleans will be gone. So some cities will be gone. Next. Until the 3 crystal balls. Okay. So since I'm here, I just talk about it. That conference that I talked about, and I was telling many of the audiences we need to do a job. We need to do more. Otherwise, we are moving to 4. Some audiences stood up and they said, Dr. Vincent, are you sure or not? I did a lot during COVID. Because during COVID, I didn't go out of my home. I didn't travel. I didn't drive. I didn't do anything. So I didn't emit anything. And therefore, give me a break, man. Let me travel. Let me go to US. Let me go to Bangkok for massage. Let me do a bit of emission. It's fair, right? Yeah, they are saying I did so much during COVID. So to them, I tell them, thank you very much for the support. Can you see this dot? Click one time. Click. Yes, can you see this dot? This was COVID. Thank you very much for your effort. The emission came back up within 1 year. 1 year. And this chart is 2023. That means in 2024, the emission has gone up all the way. So if we still don't do anything now, it will be 4 degrees. 4 degrees is not fun. Not fun. Okay, next. So I'd like to share with you 3 crystal balls. There are not many ESG people who dare to predict the future. Today I'm taking a step. The first crystal ball prediction of the future is that we will have our Article 6.2 up. Anyone know what is Article 6.2? No one? Okay, so if anyone talk to you about carbon credit and he or she doesn't know what is Article 6.2, that carbon credit is very likely to be voluntary carbon credit. Voluntary carbon credit means you buy and you feel good. That is all. Compliance carbon credit means you buy and you can do something about it. You can reduce tax, for example, or you can be net zero, for example. You can have carbon neutrality, for example. So carbon credit without 6.2 means voluntary credit. Voluntary credit is for fun. So next, so how do we link what is carbon credit and why do people want to buy? Anyone knows why do people want to buy? So one of the starting point is carbon tax. Singapore came up with a Carbon Pricing Act 2018, and the summary is this thick, the legislation is this thick. I summarize it with these few pages. The first is it will be 45. So today, Singapore carbon price is 25 Singapore dollar. Last year was $5, an increase of 400%. You know, I was a CFO of Motorola Solutions for Asia, including Singapore and Malaysia. And any price that increased 40%, I'll jump. And I asked for a QBR, and every single supplier come and talk to me. Carbon price increased 400%. Many of the people don't even know. In Singapore, don't even know. And they'll have to pay the tax in 2025. At that time, they will know, man. So, has increased 400% since last year. Many companies will feel the pain in 2025, but it will go up to 45 2027, it will go up to 80 2029. For sure. And some people say, next page, are you sure or not, Vincent? You talk all this, crystal ball, this prediction, are you sure or not? This is the legislation. Anyone needs the actual copy, let me know. I have the PDF file. It has been there since 2018. Not many people read it. So this is public information. It's so funny. So public information legislated, next slide, very clearly that it will go up to 45. Also, you can see from here, it will go up to 45, 20, 26 or 27. It will go up to 80, 29 or 30, around 30 lah. I mean, 29 is a bit too early. So around 30, it will become 80. Imagine last year was $5. 2030, it will be $80 per ton CO2e. It's a huge amount, you know? And not many people know about it. When you know about it, when they know about it, they will be queuing up to talk to Sean, talk to Edmund, please help me, please help me. They will also talk to Keegan, because the people will always scramble when they feel the pain. Without the pain, it's okay, who cares? But this is legislated in Singapore. So, Singapore will have a lot of tax. You all are Malaysian companies, right? Who cares, right? Singaporean, you all suffer. Hey, remember when Singaporean company pay tax, they feel pain, they will want to reduce their tax. How do they reduce their tax? 5% here. Carbon credit, absolutely. Can you please give the person a round of applause, please? Good job, good job. So, tax is one of the driving forces of carbon credit. So when we talk about carbon credit, let's think about offtake. Otherwise, why do we buy? So can see from here, 5% of that can be offsetted. If you buy carbon credit, you pay lesser tax. Don't want to pay tax? Buy carbon credit. Don't buy carbon credit? No problem, pay tax lah. That's not fun, right? So 5%, someone say, Dr. Vincent, is too low. I know, but it will go up. That's the point. 5% too low, it will go up. So when it go up, companies in Singapore will want to buy carbon credit from neighboring countries. Malaysia is one of them. However, it depends on Article 6.2 again. Malaysia has not signed with Singapore, and we will know about it a bit later. Next. So, next again. If you look at the offtake, Dr. Vincent, how do I sell? You know, in this world, there are many carbon exchanges. Can you see from here how many carbon exchanges? Cannot count. Senegal also have carbon exchanges. The largest carbon exchange in the world. Guess? No, sorry. China. China has the biggest carbon exchange in the world. But of course, their numbers are not really trustable and not transparent, and the government can change here and there, and therefore a bit difficult, but still they are quite big. Next slide. You can see from here the price. So carbon price for China is $2. You can see the dot, right? $2. What is the highest? What's the highest? Europe, ETS. Well done. So ETS stands for Emission Trading Scheme. Europe has a cap and trade process. That means you must not pollute, and if you want to pollute, buy carbon credit. So cap and trade process is slightly different from Singapore and Malaysia. So the ability for us to understand the offtake of carbon credit, I think is the most crucial. Otherwise, we just hearsay, carbon credit, earn money. It doesn't work that way. It requires the understanding of the whole process. So today you can see from here, New Zealand has, California has, US has got 3 at least. So California is one, Oregon is another one, Washington has another, Washington, the state, not the Washington DC, has got another one. So we have at least 10 carbon exchanges. Singapore, we have a CIX, Carbon Impact Exchange. So many of the exchanges are voluntary credit. We have to differentiate. Today I only have 25 minutes, I can't go through this. So in my actual course, I teach people how to go which exchange. So understand the exchange, whether is it voluntary credit or compliance credit. If you take a voluntary credit and you buy the credit and then you say you want to offset tax, cannot. Cannot, it doesn't work that way. Voluntary credit is to put it in your SR, sustainability report, and then feel good about it. You can offset and then, oh, my emission is very low. That's all you can do. That's all. Next. So from here, this is the latest price. So just now I talked about voluntary credit and compliance credit. See, compliance credit is 74 USD. Here say euro, same. So 74 USD, it was like 80 something. It doesn't come down, It doesn't come down. For compliance credit, it has always been around this price. Started from 60, now 74. It doesn't come down. So if you are talking about carbon credit, you build a carbon credit, you create something you want to sell, it doesn't come down, that's good. But voluntary credit today is 2. Also, you can check today's price. I think it's around 2, or maybe $2.20, but still 2. $2 per ton CO2e. You all know what is CO2e? Yeah, carbon dioxide, and then the E stands for equivalent. That means if you emit methane, CH4, if you emit methane, it's 27.9 times. So you just multiply by that. So your emission, your company's emission is not just, I got how much carbon. It's not like that. You've got to count every single type of gas. My company does that. My verifiers does that. But the key is it's not so easy. You need to have domain knowledge. Next slide, please. So overall, the first crystal ball is carbon credit will continue to go up, but only for compliance. Carbon tax will continue to go up, but dependent on the ability to offset. And the ability to offset is dependent on Article 6.2. Due to time, you all can ask questions a bit later, but due to time, I can't share too much about Article 6.2. It's a 2 hours course. Next. So the next crystal ball. The next crystal ball is that I am a professor in Singapore Institute of Technology. So I teach this course. However, there's no one who teaches this course before me. Why? Because as a professor, I create the module and there are so many standards. There are like 100 over standards. You imagine you create a course and then within 3 months it's wrong. There are 100 standards, So they update suka here, there, and then as a professor, you teach your student and then someone update, prof is wrong. So no one dare to do it, but I dare to. So I kena left, right, center, top, down. So I kena slap all the way. However, things changed recently. Next slide. It has consolidated to 4. Also, just now, 100 over standards consolidated to 4. So with 4, it is still okay. Just now, the chairwoman talked about TCFD, right? It's here. And Jenny, I talked to you about TNFD, right? It's not even here, so it's coming up, something new. So there are many, many standards that you kind of can see from here. GRI, SASB, CRISD. Many of them are kind of here. However, still quite a lot. My prediction and my company's prediction is there will be 1. Do you all know which one? Do you all want to know which one? Want to know? Really? Next slide, please. It will be this one. So in very soon future, everything will be consolidated to ISSB, International Sustainability Standards Board. Some people at this stage, at my other conference, ask me, Dr. Vincent, why do they want to do this? You all know what is carbon tax? Carbon tax means you emit so much, and then the government tax you, right? But you need to know what you emit, right? GRI is substance over form. That means you can report whatever you like. You think it's substantial, you report. It doesn't need to be rule-based. ISSB is rule-based. Too bad. You need to report the real numbers. You have 10 fire extinguisher, we calculate each of the 10 fire extinguisher. Not fun, huh? You have how many chillers, how many aircon, how many refrigerator, we calculate every single one of them. So it is because of that ISSB, in my personal opinion, will move from 4% to 100%. My prediction, no one knows. If I know, I buy Toto, right? So the key is, my prediction so far, I think is quite accurate, but there are still unknown elements. But logical, right? Any government who wants to charge carbon tax, they would want their companies to follow ISSB. If the company follows GRI, I don't report my aircon because I think not so important. I don't report. How does the government charge the tax, man? Cannot. So rule-based is the first step for the government to charge carbon tax. Next. So today you can see from here, majority of the companies are on funny thing like GRI, SDG. You all know what is SDG? Sustainable Development Goal. So some people report SDG, some people report ISO. What is ISO? 14064. Okay. So TCFD, Jenny, just now we talked. We have SASB, the US one. So you can see many types. Closer at home. Next slide. Malaysia. Okay, Singapore first. Singapore has already mandated. Sorry, all this very nice standard, very nice of you. However, it will be ISSB period. So this one is 23rd of September 2024, just not so long ago. So I'm not using old information. It's already mandated. When is the implementation? If you ask me, they say 2025. That means 2026 report. But they won't make it very strict. What does that mean? I give you an example. If you prepare a sustainability report, but it doesn't require audit, so it's okay. You can write whatever you want. So you say, I need audit. How do you get the people doing audit? Go Big Four. Do you know that I teach Big Four? And not all the Big Four. I teach some of the Big Fours. They don't know how to audit and they don't have a license to audit. So today, in Singapore, the authority is ISCA, ISCA. In Malaysia, the authority is MIA. How do they have a license to audit? So without audit, ISSB sustainability report is a good to have, but they will come up with audit. And once they come out audit, it will be very strict. So the strictness, in my personal opinion, for Malaysia is 2027. So all of you, remember today, in 2027, when Sean invite you again, you're maybe multi-billionaire because you heard what I said and then you work on it, or you will be the same and then you look at it and say, let's do it, but it will maybe too late. So 2027, verify what I say correct or not correct. By then, Malaysia, Singapore, and many parts of this world will be focusing on ISSB and huge amount of talent shortage. And people scramble and next, please. So this is business times. So again, Singapore Lisco must report. Next. This is Malaysia, Bursa Malaysia to review listing. NSRF, quite similar to ISSB. Next. So NSRF, okay, look at here. So it's quite aligned to IFRS S1 and S2. So it's a new name, new package, but the essence is about the same. Anyone know what is IFRS? Just now I say ISSB, right? ISSB came from IFRS. What is IFRS? International Financial. Correct. Fantastic. Please give her a round of applause. I'm so glad to have strong experts here. So, with experts, I'm more motivated because then, we can talk. The key is that we have to know what it is. So, International Financial Reporting Standard, who's the boss? Anyone know? This one is more difficult already. So far, not many people know. Who is the boss or sponsor of IFRS? IFAC, so International Federation of Accounting. So if you have an accountant focusing on the standard is very likely to be rule-based. So going forward, my prediction is that rule-based. Okay, next. Again, so this is from Eco-Business. Malaysia will be doing scope 3. Next. This is Singapore, so we have a range of regulation that is coming along, and you can see from here, it is going to be all ISSB. So ultimately, this is my prediction. Today, only 4%, 96% something else. It will be moved to ISSB. Next. So the third crystal ball. Chairwoman, how much time do I still have? Okay, so I will focus a little bit. So the ability for us to do real results. So the third is greenwashing. So we want to focus on how we tackle the biggest problem in our industry. The biggest problem of our industry is that there are many experts, many people who claim that they are ESG and they are super and you know, for people who actually know, we cannot tarnish like a lot, man, by these people. We cannot pull down by a lot. But what do I mean? Next, please. So do you all know? Okay, so I talk about solution first. You all know about conference of parties? Anyone knows? COP? Anyone know what is? A lot, huh? Very good. So conference of parties are the global solution to climate change. Because if Malaysia is doing a lot, but Thailand doesn't do, I'm sorry, it doesn't help. If Malaysia do a lot, Laos doesn't do, I'm sorry, it doesn't help. The world is together, the haze will still come to you. It doesn't help at all. Everyone needs to do. So how to get everyone to do? Conference of party. Party means government. 192 governments signed the agreement. Malaysia is one of them. So I truly believe that COP3, 21, 28 are the really strong one. So COP3 is Kyoto Protocol. Next. So 3, 21, 28. Next. So Kyoto Protocol is the one that we established many things. Anyone still remember ozone layer? Ozone layer? Yeah, today no one talk about ozone layer. Why? Because it's solved. So how do you solve? There are many things that we have done, but one of them is Kyoto Protocol. We said CFC cannot use done. So it's possible. It's showing us that we can make some impact. Of course, people say the earth recover by itself. Depends. The next slide is Paris Agreement. So this is, to me, the key thing. We all talk about Article 6.2. Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. We all talk about net zero. Paris Agreement. So a lot of things came from here. So this COP is very important. Next. COP28. So many people look at Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement. When I ask them, COP28, what is that? Don't know, UAE something, Dubai something. No, it's called UAE Consensus. UAE Consensus. So what have we done? First time in the history of mankind, we say move away from fossil fuel. This is a big thing, you know. It's not fun. UAE is one of the largest producers of fossil fuel. And we, in front of them, we say move away. This is a huge thing. I think 10, 20 years later, we look back, this is a big COP. Next slide. I happened to be there. And I was a speaker, and I was talking to a senior executive of oil company, and I tell them, you know, you need to save the earth, you need to do carbon instruments, carbon offsets, and maybe carbon credit. So I get whacked left, right, center. But the point is that the team, many of them, are very into environmental. Next. So they also asked me one question in COP28. I was addressing a big crowd, not like that, it's like hundreds of people. So big crowd, many of them are senior executives, COO of some big oil company. So some of them came out and said, Dr. Vincent, are you sure or not? You're all greenwashers, you all talk a lot. The impact, there's no impact, and then this is a hoax. Climate change is a hoax. Fake one, it doesn't work. The world will recover by itself. Anyone heard of this? The world is very big. The earth is very big. The earth will recover by itself. Do you all know that it's true? It is true. It's my view that it is true. The earth will recover by itself after 100,000 years. That's where all humans are gone. So yeah, true enough. I'm not doing this for the earth, I'm not helping the earth. Some people say, oh, Vincent, you're helping the earth. No, I'm not doing it for earth. Do you all know that carbon, more carbon, the plants are happier. The plants live on carbon dioxide, So the more carbon, the plants are happier. So the weather very hot, the plants are fine, the earth is fine. So the earth is fine. We are not saving the earth. Many of my students say we are saving the earth. No, you're not saving the earth. You're only saving one species, that's human. We are saving ourselves, our children's children, or children's grandchildren. That's all, Please don't think that we are saving the earth. No, we are not saving the earth. So the earth will recover by itself after 100,000 years when our children suffer very, very much. Our children's children, our children's children suffer very, very much. I want to prevent that, not to save the earth. I'm not so like 伟大. No, we are not. So ultimately, how do we do that? It is because we are trying to save human. And the question that I have from COP28 is that you all are greenwashers, I'm greenwashers. Again, it's true. So I give you this example. This is a case study. Anyone heard of ESG fund? Anyone from Vanguard here? Just checking. I will be offending a lot of people. No, but okay. So I'll be offending a lot of people, but I'll still do it anyway. So next slide. Have you all heard of Vanguard S&P fund? Have Vanguard S&P fund. Can you please look at the expense ratio? Expense ratio, next. It's 0.03%. Okay, next slide. Have you all heard of Vanguard ESG fund? Vanguard ESG fund. Click again. Have you seen the expense ratio? 0.09. Those who are in financial line, you all should know. That means the manager earns 3 times salary. So you just imagine your salary, and then you imagine 3 times. Isn't that a nice number? Quite nice, right? So why do they earn 3 times salary? Why is it that they earn 3 times salary? Because of the word ESG, right? Because they are doing things that are ESG. So they are worth 3 times. They deserve 3 times because they are saving the world, saving the earth, right? Next slide. So this is public information. I went to Google, I went to Yahoo Finance. I searched every single company they invest. Every single company. Next slide. It's the same. Up to 97%. So for a very, very large number of the investment that they make, it is about the same. And they earn 3 times salary. In my personal opinion, which I'm going to offend a lot of people, I think that's greenwashing. So you put ESG there, you earn 3 times salary, but the work is 3%, 97% same, 3% different. So if I offended you, I apologize. In my past conferences, I offended people, but I still survive one piece. The point is that there are many, many, many more examples like this. I just took one. And these are public information. You can search yourself. You don't need to rely on me. You search yourself. It's on public. It's on Yahoo. So the key is that there are many greenwashers hampering the work of me, Keegan, Jenny, and it is so difficult. But if we are able to work together with real information, real solution, we can really save human from more disasters. Okay, so next, I like to, next again. How much time do I still have? 3 more minutes. So I like to very quickly go through with you some of the things that I do. So you all have haze, right? So KL, Singapore, we have haze. Every few years we have haze. And then the haze comes from some farms in Indonesia, Sumatra, and I don't know what. And then we say, oh, please don't burn. It happens again. 1 year later, 2 years later, the police come and then they stop burning, and after that they come. So for us and our team, we go to the farm and we say, sell me the waste. If you sell me the waste, you got no more waste. No more waste, you cannot burn, right? Soft issue. Okay, so that place is very, very big. Some people insist that they don't want to sell me. They insist on burning. Fine. I teach them how to burn correctly. Anyone knows what is pyrolysis? Pyrolysis, you can Google, is basically burning without oxygen. So if you burn without oxygen, you burn without emission. You don't have the emission, you can burn into a crystal. So this is pyrolysis, carbon, activated carbon. This is charcoal. So you burn normal, you become charcoal. Next. So some people say, Dr. Vincent, you collected all this waste, what do? You throw away, landfill? No. So you can see from here, we convert waste into animal feed. So we take the waste, this sugarcane farm waste, and then we put fermentation, we put bacteria, and then we change that into animal feed, put here, and then we dry it, and then we feed the fish. So some people say, Dr. Vincent, you are feeding rubbish to the fish, Next, you click one time. The report shows that my feed are suitable for animals. Also, if you expand a little bit, you can see today, no time. Next. So some of the people say, activated carbon, you have all this very nice activated carbon, what do? We can do many things, including cleansing the water. You can cleanse the water. After cleansing the water, the fish grow faster with less mortality. So these are the things. You take waste and you actually do something about it. Next. So we also have the way to do biochar. So we burn in a certain way. Next. This is in Phnom Penh. So sorry, just now in Phnom Penh, we take the rubbish and make it into biochar. So this is in Vietnam. So in Nghệ An province in Vietnam, we do a lot of sustainability work, rail solution. Next. So same thing. Just now I talked about fish waste, right? I can feed the pigs. So sorry, it's a Muslim country, but I can feed the cow also, cow and goat also. I can feed other animals. So these two are farmers. Can you see here? They are holding my waste feed, the animal feed made from waste. So again, we actually do the waste. Next. So this is sludge water. Anyone has cassava back before, you know that it's very, very toxic. We convert cassava waste into usable vat. Next. And if you look at so we've got no time, but basically these are the things that we do. We do many rail solution. Next a few times and see. Rail solution, this is biochar. We convert unfertilized land into fertilized land. And some people say, Vincent, I have a forest and I want some carbon credit. Do you know that there are three ways? Afforestation, reforestation, and prevention of deforestation. Only three ways you can get carbon credit. So overall, I don't have time anymore. We can talk a bit later if you want to know more. Let's focus on real solution to help human mankind. We are not saving the earth. We are helping to save our own species. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Vincent, for such a